Welcome back to another episode of 0 to 60. And today we are finally going to give the cheap budget $1,000 335 a proper 0 to 60. So if you haven't been following this, we recently bought this from a subscriber and it had to be one of the cheapest N54 335s in the world. It wasn't running. Actually, we'll put a link to the playlist on this car so you can see the adventures we've been through to get it here now, but it actually didn't cost too much to fix. We used a second-hand injector and then learnt how to use coding properly. But yeah, we've got a bit of a story on it. We have taken it on its first drive and it drove really well, but this channel was born originally from testing acceleration times, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, 0 to 62 miles an hour. It's evolved into a lot of other things, but that's what we used to do, and we want to do that with this because, well, although it's not the cleanest car in the world, it does actually have a few upgrades already. So yes, the cheapest N54 in the world also comes with upgrades. So yeah, do you want to run through the spec of what it's actually got? I'm sure I'm going to get this wrong. So at this point in time, it's running a JB4 no flash. So it's a standard ECU with a JB4 working as a true piggyback. It has got RB turbos, it has got downpipes, it has got a high flow panel filter in the standard airbox. In fact, let's pop that, because that's an interesting topic. Typically, you either see people love the stock airbox or love the DCIs. Yeah, now my car came with DCIs. We did a bit of a test a few years ago on Dylan's 335, which is completely stock, and he switched to DCIs, and from the testing we did then, it definitely went quicker on the DCIs. But a lot of you guys in the comments are like, get rid of the DCIs, they're no good, go back to the panel filter. So actually having a high performance panel filter, we should be able to do some tests with DCIs. Now this is a...
looks like a K&N one, to be honest.
It does look like K&N, it wasn't K&N.
No, it's not K&N, is it? It's black.
Yeah, it's got an AFE high flow filter.
Nice.
So it should be a decent filter. I'll let you pop that back in. Oh, of course, sorry, I almost completely forgot. It has also got charge pipe, TIAL blow-off valve, and a front mount intercooler. So it's a pretty well set up car.
And it's a stepped front mount too. So.
Stepped front mount. It is a 5-inch one.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty well set up car. But before we get into this one, I want to quiz you guys. So I've got a bit of a theory with the DCI things, and something I've noticed from the commenters, and I could be wrong, but I want to get your opinion on it. Most of the people that like DCIs, like we do, are from hot climates. So it's not even proper summer here, and it's 31 or 32 degrees at the moment.
She's warm.
And it's 11 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, and I really like the DCIs, but I noticed people from Melbourne, Southern Australia, where it's cold and shitty and coronavirus-y, they really like the panel filters. So I'm wondering if, I guess the theory with the DCIs is you remove this restriction right here, where the air, well, actually goes through the airbox and then down through there. So I wonder if when you've got a hot air, like we do,
that isn't as dense as a nice cold air,
the DCIs make a bigger difference because they remove that restriction. But in a cold climate, the restriction this airbox has isn't a problem because the air is more dense, thus has more power.
Very plausible. And that would make sense why so many people are so adamant that both are better.
Yeah. They're not taking into account the ambient air that they're using the cars in.
Because they don't need to think about the climate in somewhere else in the world.
So we will do a bit more of a test on that. What else has it got? It has...
well, exhaust as well. It looks underneath, it looks like a stock exhaust, but it does not sound stock, does it? It's quite an interesting noise.
We will stand up in a minute. I just want to touch on the tyres, because obviously this is what's going to be putting the power to the ground. Now, on this side we have a Goodyear, and it is a 265/30 R19. Very, very skinny profile, not a lot of sidewall give. It's also running on Simmons one-piece wheels, but they look like three-piece. This side, the tyre is a
Nexen
Nefera. Same tyre size, but definitely a different profile against the edge. And I think that's going to be a big hindrance to us today because even though this is still running on 98, it's a big turbo JB4 335.
Oh, look,
open diff.
Exactly. It's definitely not going to help. It's even a stock one of these cars, you can lose traction when you're trying to stall it up and get that initial movement. So it is going to be it's going to be interesting to see how it comes into play for this thing.
Would you mind firing it up?
Give it a sound?
Yeah.
Sound check. It's interesting how it sounds actually. It's not too loud at idle, but you ready?
Yeah, give it a rev. So it looks like a completely standard exhaust. Something that I know a lot of guys in Australia do. They do what's called a PE mod, where, from what I can tell, they basically just straight pipe the standard rear mufflers, and I think that's what's happened to that, because it's got a bloody nice note to it.
Yeah, and it looks like a stock muffler, but it doesn't sound like a stock muffler. So they must have had some trickery inside, I reckon.
Yeah, so it has got downpipes, but it's still got secondary cats. It doesn't smell like a decatted car, I don't think.
Definitely not. And also, yeah, speaking of the way it smells, it's definitely not an E85, it's just on 98 pump. I think the fuel system's going to be stock, actually, so it's not working too hard. Map 2 today?
We're going to be in map 2, let's not mess around with map 1.
Yep.
The gearbox is not running XHP, so standard software on the gearbox. It is something that you may have noticed, we haven't done the spark plugs on this, but Matt saw that we mentioned the plugs in the last video, and he actually emailed us saying the plugs that are in the car are not very old, so let's assume they're good. And
to be fair, it's running pretty good now. After we've given it that last sort of thrash, which seemed to work as a bit of a clean out, it's now it's running smoother than it was when we first got it running.
Sounds like a good engine.
It does, doesn't it? You mentioned the BOV, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, it's got the BOV as well. Could hear it then when we we're giving it a bit of a rev, that was all. So, shall we take this beast to the road and
do a real world acceleration test?
Yeah.
With the draggy. All right, let's head out.
Boom.
Is that AC working yet?
Oh yes.
Woo. Oh man.
It's the downside of a black car in Australia.
Can't wait for my AC to be working. What do you reckon this is going to do? Like we've done a lot of 335 tests.
A lot, yeah. Again, I think those tyres are going to be a bit of an issue because they're not very fresh, and they're a different tread pattern and a different profile, which isn't going to help. I'm going to say mid 5s.
Now,
actually, it does pull really hard at the top end. Maybe that second half of the run will bring it back down to maybe even like a 5 flat, something like that.
Well, to me, it felt really fast from the passenger seat in that other video.
I think it is, to be fair.
But in the driver's seat, it doesn't respond like mine, especially in the low end. Mine seems to come on boost a lot faster than this, which could be down to having the custom map on the DME, even though I'm JB4 as well. I'm going to guess low 5s. I reckon 5.16 I'm going.
All right, and look, we've got a lot of N54 followers now as well. Sorry. We've got a lot of N54 followers now that are also doing similar tests with their car. So guys, what do you think this car's going to do now that you know what specs it's running?
Comment below. And we're going to go and find a private road to do some tests on.
Let's do it.
Okay, it is.
Okay, that... I might change my prediction. It's definitely gonna be low 5s.
Low 5s.
That pulled really good.
If we can get it to hook, it might be 4s. All right, let's get on with it. All right, we'll see you guys in a second. Well guys, we're going to try and do both 0 to 100 kilometers an hour and 60 to 120, just to use the 60 to 120 as a reference as we start doing other mods. We will also get into 1 to 2s, but unfortunately
not today.
Not today. 2 reasons. The track where we like to do 1 to 2s is closed today, and this car will be slow anyway. So
you need a lot of power to start losing traction at 60 k's an hour anyway, 60, 70 k's. So that 60 to 120 should be a good reference point.
We'll try and do a 1 to 2 in this before we do too many more mods, but it just won't be today. So we'll see how we go.
Okay, so I'm going to go traction completely off, no DTC, and sports mode, but I will actually put it into manual and manually shift. That seems to be the most efficient way.
See what it does. We're on a reasonable surface.
There's a little bit of dirt here.
Yeah, you're good to go.
So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Stall it up. Is it in? Oh, fuck.
Go. Oh, it felt all right. Dude, it's not slow. Now 120.
No traction initially. That was weak off the line.
Okay, so that was a 5.35, but you reckon there's more in it?
I hope so.
All right.
I hope so.
We'll do another run. We'll see you guys in a second.
Just get a bit of a clear run.
Yep.
And it's 60 zone. What?
Engine fault, reduce power. That's good. Well, we were just driving to do the second run, and unfortunately, engine fault, reduce power. We'll try turning the car off, turn it back on. We don't have a scan tool with us. I think if you do a UE at these lights, that'll probably be the safest spot.
That is what happens when you're
playing with an M54.
Just gonna kill it.
Yeah. Key out. Oh fuck, you're gonna go again.
All right.
All right, that cleared the fault code.
Okay, it's all right, but now we're not in an ideal spot. Probably going to get some heat soak here. Sport mode.
All right, attempt 2.
We are good.
And draggy's ready. Feels all right.
Felt a bit laggy in first gear.
5.18.
Okay.
That's pretty quick. I
That's
said 5.16.
You did. I reckon there's more in it still. It didn't feel like it come alive until second gear.
And 60 to 120 was a flat 4, which is okay for a stock turbo car.
Yeah.
But not rapid for one with big turbos. But 5.1, it's all right. It's all right.
I reckon we'll give it another go.
Yep.
And that's going to be the...
That'll be the decider. All right.
That'll kill it.
One last run. Ready to go?
You ready?
Yep. Bit more wheel spin.
But it felt stronger though. That felt good.
Whoa! It did 4.8. I wasn't expecting a 4.8 on these tyres.
That's what we're talking about. I'm going to try one more because that is just too good.
Wow.
Are you ready for another one?
I'm ready for another one. This might be a better surface here.
It's feeling promising.
I'm lucky the highway is empty right now.
It's very lucky. Oh, it's a bit too aggressive. Far out, bugger.
It was almost a short shift. 5.6.
Yeah, it seemed to respond better to stalling it up more. It put it better in its power band, so that time I just went a couple hundred more RPM, but it was just, I didn't pedal it either. I just left it into it to try and get it through its no power range.
Yep.
But I think it was just too much, and that was, I don't know if you could see, but the steering wheel was like that for a little bit, which obviously that doesn't equal a quick time when the wheels are spinning.
I'm just going to check this. These guys will see it on the screen already, but the 60 to 120 on the last one was 4.2, and the 60 to 120 on the fast one was 3.92.
Okay.
So that's pretty quick.
3.92 for a 60 to 120. That's where she's at the moment. I'm really impressed with that.
Stop that one recording. Actually, we can stop the cluster as well. Yeah, that was pretty good.
That 0 to 100, that was great.
I was not expecting this car to be in the 4s.
Not like that.
Not without a flash on it.
No.
It is JB4 only, running 98. It has got upgraded turbos, but that was impressive.
And downpipes. I mean, the tyres are terrible, and this flash is old.
Stock transmission flash.
Yeah, so there's definitely room for improvements there.
Do you know how long it took me to get my car into the 4s?
That's what I'm thinking. A lot of people, like, you do a lot of modifications.
Mind you, it's got turbos. Mine didn't have turbos. I was on stock turbos.
True, which helps, definitely helps.
Yes, yes. All right, and I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a stock turbo MHD car with current MHD stage 2 will be low 5s straight out of the box as well.
Low 5s, I'd say, so yeah.
Yeah, but you don't see many stock turbo cars in the 4s. Well, not rear-wheel drives with 19s anyway.
And it is also, ambient temperature is 29 degrees at the moment, so she's not cold.
All right, I think that's going to wrap this video up here.
It's a bit of a win for this little beast.
Let us know what you think of the 4.88 with the cheapest 335 in the world. And we're probably going to head out in the next day or so in my car and just test the brakes. The brakes feeling better. Have they still got the shutter?
Yeah, there's no shutter, but it still doesn't feel 100% correct under heavy braking, but it does feel a lot better, which is weird. The car just fixes itself.
What was I going to say? We will go out and do a 0 to 60 episode on my vehicle with the diff. It's still not running its power tune yet, but I'm kind of curious to see what we can do in my car. We can do another one.
Yep.
Guys, the draggy's not recording, but I can see it.
Oh, that was doughy.
Doughy.
Well, that wasn't.
Seconds. It's a 5.28.
Okay, not as good.
Yeah. All right, guys, we are ending off there. Thank you very much for watching. I can't believe that this car's in the 4s straight away.
That's brilliant.
All right, guys. Catch you next one.
Peace.